Academy Electrical Contractors, generators. Hi, I'm Dan O'Brien from Academy Electric. To continue our discussion about generators, recently we have been inundated with questions about the fuel sources available for home standby and small residential and commercial generators. Therefore, I'm going to dwell a little bit more in detail about propane as using it as the fuel to fuel your generator. Because of where we live, a lot of the areas have what they call utilization gas pressure. That utilization pressure relates to is that the design of the system is to guarantee 4 inches of gas pressure on a cold winter's day. 4 inches of gas pressure is not enough to run even the smallest generator. Therefore, propane is becoming a much more popular choice of fuel. So I would like to give you a little bit more detail about how that propane fuel source works. For the residential application and small commercial jobs that we're doing, we've been excavating a hole and burying a tank in the ground with propane. The capacity of the tank is 500 gallons. It holds 400 gallons of propane. And that's because propane is stored in the tank as a liquid, not as a gas. The liquid in the tank boils on the top surface and becomes gas as we take the fuel from the tank. And that's how the generator gets its gas fuel supply. So a 400 gallons of propane in a tank is 14,556 cubic feet of gas. An RS-20 generator loaded at 3/4% load is going to consume 97.6 cubic feet of gas an hour. That's a little high for an estimate, but again, I'd rather err on the side of caution. That would relate to, at 24 hours a day, 6+ days of fuel that you would have in the ground to run your generator. There's never been a time where we've been completely isolated for 6 days and not able to get a propane truck back to refill the tank. In fact, post-Sandy, some of our customers with the RS-20 generators and that 500-gallon tank buried in the ground went 11 and even up to 14 days of fuel due to the load on the engine. Load on the generator is directly proportional to load on the engine, which is directly proportional to how much fuel you're going to burn an hour. Talking about fuel an hour, a RS-20A generator fully loaded on propane consumes 122 cubic feet of gas an hour. That same generator, fueled on natural gas, is 245 cubic feet of gas an hour. So it's almost better than twice the amount of fuel in cubic feet an hour on natural gas as it is on propane. And there's a 15% reduction in the power output of the generator on natural gas versus propane. So propane now is starting to look like the real fuel of choice for the home standby generator market. You're consuming half the amount of fuel that you would consume as if it was fueled on natural gas. You're gaining 15% more power out of the engine, and the engines last longer and run better on propane than they do on natural gas. Not that natural gas is a bad fuel source, but because of the area that we live in, the supply of natural gas may not be adequate to fuel your generator. The last thing that you would want to have is to go spend all of this money and have that generator installed, and on that cold winter's day when the snowstorm comes and the power goes out, the generator does not start. Academy and generators, now more than ever.